Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of RK Football. And it is me, Matt, hosting again today with David and Stuart as well. How are we going?
Very well. How are you?
Yeah,
Good. We've got obviously a few results to go over today, and we are going to start off at two teams that we never really start off with usually, but we thought, well, after news over the weekend, it's probably the best place to start, and that is at Craven Cottage as Fulham beat Wolves 3-0, spelling the end for Vítor Pereira's time at Wolves as well. Thoughts, guys? What were we thinking with that?
Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, anyway, Vítor Pereira was my prediction for the manager to be sacked first. So obviously not the best one. I think. Is that the third manager this season now to be sacked? Third or fourth, perhaps. Certainly wasn't the first, but Wolves obviously haven't gotten off to the best start this season, and that form has just continued on and on. So that was pretty much in the pipeline. It was just kind of when not if for Vítor. Wolves are on the hunt now for another manager. But Fulham, they were starting to come under a bit of pressure. Marco Silva. That was 4 losses on the bounce in the league. So certainly the team and Marco Silva were starting to really come under it. Like bad losses as well. So that was a very much needed win for them. Admittedly against the bottom side, but hey, a win's a win. Really positive result for them.
Harry Wilson impressed in that game. I watched the highlights and he scored a cracking goal.
Really nice.
He could have got 2 in that game. I think he could have got someone just. He always had that in locker at Liverpool, to be honest. But there's because obviously he performs better when he didn't play for us, ironically. But he always had that ability in him, but it's that goal with the spot. He's just got one proper strike on him outside that box. But it probably does help. It probably does help when Wolves are giving you like 1 or 2 of those goals with pretty shambolic defending. Good God,
it was Jesus. Like I was watching it, and when sometimes you sit there and I don't know if you try your analysis type of thing, don't you, when you're watching these games? And I was sitting there thinking, I wonder if I'm going to be able to figure this out. What the problem is with Wolves? Wolves are so easy to read. What the problem is? They weren't closing down anyone. They kept running around these Wolves players, and they just stood there. And you're like, seriously, this is
headless
so
chickens
easy to get through. Yeah. Exactly. Yes, exactly that.
It proves they kind of can go by the message or the idea that basically they kind of stop playing for him. They're going what? Because they play like a team that's basically like they don't know what they're doing, and obviously if they're not, that means they're not listening to the manager. And if that's happening, then there's no real repair there, really, is there? So, but have you seen the managers they've been linked with though? They're not exactly promising candidates.
Gary O'Neill is one, I think.
Why would he come back to a club?
He's actually the favourite.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So, he's favourite, is he?
He's not only the favourite. This is what has actually been. I've seen this published in one of, I think it was one of the articles I saw. So bear with me a second while I just bring it back up, because I'll be honest, I was stunned by the news. Yes, that's it. So Gary O'Neill is one of the favourites, and it looks like they are actually in talks with bringing him back in. Now, this is the manager who had a contract running until 2028 when they sacked him. They obviously paid out the compensation because they sacked him. They brought in Vítor Pereira. He kept him up, and then he's done a terrible job so far this season. They then extended his contract to 2028, and then they sacked him. So there's more compensation paid out.
And then
they have now, if they get Gary O'Neill back in, apparently he'll come in on a contract until 2028. Which means that not only have they paid that compensation for that time, they're now paying him again to actually fulfill that time.
And then they get relegated, and all that money we lost then, they're going to basically be financially ruined. Basically.
Exactly. Yeah. I think they're doomed. But I actually think they're doomed.
It's an interesting thing. Yeah. I just checked on was it The Athletic just to double check. Apparently he's withdrawn. He's had initial talks with him, and he's withdrawn. So I guess with him, it's smart move, I think, on his part. He'd be like, he's thought, I'll talk to them, and then they go, you know what, I'm good. I think I just.
Is this going to be like Rangers a couple of weeks ago, where people just can't get it out?
When it's like rejected, and then
that'd be hilarious. Would this be the first time in a while? I mean, I don't know. I haven't really checked, but I mean, would this be the first time that more than one team has gone down after having more than 2 permanent managers in charge? So now, obviously, Notts Forest are on the third manager. Wolves will be on their second. There's every chance the manager could come in and just not perform at all, not get anything out of these players. He'd get the boot. Do you know what I mean? So...
I think it's key now they bring someone in who has got a bit of know-how about the Premier League. I really do. Like the names that I saw that are associated with this role, obviously Gary O'Neill was the favourite.
Yeah.
Brendan Rodgers was another one I saw. And then you got Rui Boji. I think he's a Portuguese man, and obviously they always like a Portuguese fella coming in. And the other one was Rob Edwards of Luton Town. He was.
Right. So, Brendan Rodgers. Well, if you're talking Premier League experience,
a fantastic appointment.
Yeah, do you not think? I think he'd be great. Well, I mean, it would remain to be seen. But again, in terms of Premier League experience, and I don't know, did he have much experience at Swansea in terms of relegation scrappiness?
He had one season there, and I believe he got him to 11th. And then he
didn't get relegated with them anyway. Yeah, so they were never in any kind of danger or whatever.
He was in Liverpool for 3 seasons.
And
then he went to Celtic. And then he went to Leicester, didn't he? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I'm just thinking in terms of teams he's been at where they've been in sort of when they've been in relegation trouble, basically.
Well, Liverpool would be included in that, no? So like that's
we're never that bad. Nice try.
It's not even that. Yeah,
were we like 10th or was it 11th when he left and Klopp took over? So that's like it wasn't relegation threatened, but it wasn't exactly we're a mid-table team at the time. So nice try.
But it's too early. Would it be? It is too early for Wolves, I think, to start thinking about. I mean, you mentioned bringing in a manager with Premier League experience. It's too early, isn't it, to talk about bringing in a manager with possibly Championship experience?
Isn't that kind of was it? And also Edwards, the one that was it?
Yourself to.
Yeah, it's kind of sitting there going like. So I think some say, well, I think I listened to, or was it does a Wolves? Was it a supporters like podcast thing, and I just read like a brief of it, and I think he says something like, well, if you're kind of bringing in a championship man, if you're like 6 games in, you're kind of going down, you bring in a championship manager, it kind of goes, okay, cool, you can build something up for when you win the championship. But if you're getting a championship manager 10 games in, isn't that kind of declining basically?
I agree. It is. It's
you're on your way out. It's just
a bit too Tavitas, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not.
I do think though that what could happen, and this is dependent on the manager they bring in. If they bring in someone like Brendan Rodgers, I can see Wolves saying to him, look, if we actually do go down, we'll put a clause in the contract. Like, we'll put a clause in the contract that maybe sorts him out and then he can leave early out of his contract.
Then he doesn't have to, Yeah.
Maybe. Whereas if they bring in someone like Rob Edwards, because he's not got that experience in the Premier League, he's only got one season with Luton, you'd sit there and go, I wouldn't be surprised if that is a appointment that if they do go down, he would still be their manager.
He'll be there,
There's not a lot of the problem with I think with Brendan they'll go in there because obviously this whole thing is again it'd be similar to when Nottingham Forest like another guy that's plays completely different football I think to where they want to play halfway through a season and also Brendan's kind of like a manager that if he's not backed he kind of walks or he gets sacked eventually. So
yeah. The style of play, and again, it's only it is still slightly early, but style of play, I think they need it. They're in the results business now, aren't they? Wolves, really. I mean, rather than kind of bringing in a new philosophy, a style of play, it's more about like, let's get some points and not get relegated,
Exactly,
that's I think Brendan might be the way cool to be honest.
You don't? Who would you bring in if you could think off the top of your head? Like,
I'd go Rodgers, to be honest. And then get sacked again.
That's got to be a record.
How hilarious would that be?
That'd be record. That's got to be a record. Like
basically 3 Premier League jobs in the space of like 6 months or whatever when he got sacked from Tottenham.
That's absolutely, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really don't. It's one of those things. It's not like I think that the showing that the candidates that are being rumoured tells you there's not a lot of big names that really want that job.
I think it's going to be interesting few months to come. I do. I think that if by Christmas, if this side is not in the realms of like possibly like they've closed that gap to the team that's just outside the trap door.
Yeah.
I think then then this season is like they're definitely going down, and then they need to try and get a squad in ready for the championship.
I think
that's what could end up happening.
I think that's why they did it though, because I think one thing that's kind of sure, like they wouldn't have done this maybe last season or the season before, because of obviously how bad the promotion sides have been. But I think it's kind of because how good the promoted sides have been this season. I wouldn't surprise me if Wolves are kind of panicking a bit, like, oh god, we actually have to start actually winning.
I think so. I think so. However, I think the bottom 4 teams at the moment, who are all, I think, Premier League sides, bar I think Burnley's in there as well, but they've all been equally as bad. I think if you look at the bottom 4 teams in the Premier League, in the last 6 game weeks, they only have 3 wins between them. That's poor. So I don't think Wolves. 2 of them were for bloody. Who was it? Was it Nottingham Forest or West Ham? Can't remember.
For Burnley.
Burnley, that's what it is, and 1 I think for West Ham. So the bottom 4 are doing really bad at the moment. 3 of them Premier League sides. So I don't think Wolves will be in full panic mode yet. Obviously, they've sacked their managers, so obviously something wasn't working. Which will, in fact, well, we can all see it. Something it wasn't working at all. But 8 points off 4th, 8 points off 17th, not insurmountable. So, and again, I think. Yeah, I don't think it's a completely hopeless situation whereby you'd say, well, it doesn't matter who's in charge. Like a cabbage on a stick, it would do just as well as the previous. It's not as bad as that just yet. I think if they could bring in the right person, I think they'd be just about okay. But again, I think Stu's right. I think it depends on the person. Yeah.
But there's definitely something that needs to change at the club going forward.
Yeah.
If they were to stay up at the end of this season, something has to change at the club, because for 2 seasons in a row, Wolves have not won in their first 10 games.
Really?
2 seasons in a row.
So
that is a record you don't want.
That's poor. Yeah.
Like, so I think that a lot has to change. They did lose some key names, but that, in my opinion, is like you need to be doing better than that. So yeah. But we'll move on to a team that actually did take advantage of Wolves losing over the weekend, and that is West Ham United, as they cruised to a 3-1 victory over Newcastle United. I was left with pie on my face, as I said right before the game that Pope is the best goalkeeper England have got, and for him to have the performance he did. So we're going to move on very quickly. But Nuno's first win as West Ham manager, and their first win at home since February. Yeah. So it's a big victory for West Ham. Did anyone watch the game?
I didn't see the game myself. I saw a few of the highlights, but. And I mean, talk about teams needing wins. They'd lost 4 of their last 5. West Ham. I didn't know they had won a home game since February. That's so bad. I think West Ham fans would agree that their home form since leaving Upton Park. I don't think the London Stadium does it for their fans. I really don't think they're a big fan of that stadium at all.
It's a whole thing, isn't it? Like literally, like a lot of them. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I've been there. It's stadium, and it's all right, but I can see why. As a West. Oh yeah, because I have a friend that's West Ham fan, and he was
right. And is it just?
Yeah, no, I mean it's good. It's good atmosphere in a way, but then again, it's not. It does feel like a stadium that's kind of like okay. It doesn't feel like it's
pitch, isn't it? It's an athletics.
Yeah, it's like
it was used for the Olympics or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah. It just like it's one of these things. It's just like because obviously they've kind of like, similar to some place like to take their identity away. It's like that stadium had like history in that, and West Ham is that kind of club. When you kind of rip that away and just kind of move away. So like it's kind of I can see why the West Ham fans would be devastated by that, but I mean it came out of nowhere this one because obviously Newcastle should have didn't. I mean,
I think if it draws, Newcastle wins. Can't imagine many people would have had.
I'll be honest. I don't get me wrong. Out of the 2, I did think Newcastle would win, but if you actually look at their record, including this game now, Newcastle haven't won a game away from home in 8 games. They've lost 4 and drawn 4. They've not been good away from home so far, and it's not good reading. But you can only imagine with the quality Newcastle have got, they're going to turn it around. But defensively, they look clueless.
Yeah,
they did look shambolic defensively, and West Ham did have the better of them on the day. That is for sure.
Deserved win, absolutely.
I mean, it was a weird one because obviously, I think from first couple of minutes of it, it was like something like. Newcastle were just all over them, and obviously got their deserved goal. I mean, brilliant strike, but I mean for their opener. But like after that, I don't know if they just for some reason thought, okay, well, we know this West Ham side's bad, so we just hold out, and it kind of let them into it. And then obviously when you've got a team that's desperate, I need to get a win. They obviously fought their way back into it. I mean, what can you do with was it West Ham second when it's just a deflect and it goes in? I mean, it's just unlucky that one.
Unlucky,
exactly.
But I mean, it's again, it's like what thing we were talking about last little thing, like talking about if anyone was out of the two of was it either Wolves or West Ham, it's going to probably find its way out. It's going to be West Ham, and hopefully this might be a catapult win that might actually start getting them a win, or it could just be one of those they've had a good day and then just goes completely tits up. That's probably more likely. But I mean, we can. But for West Ham, they'll be thinking, well, hopefully this be that's the statement win that makes them think, okay, now we can move up the table.
Out now.
Bounce back win, like you said. I think the next game is just looking now. Next game is Burnley at home, so another home game against a lower table side. Yeah, well, I mean it is. So, but that's another game there where they could kind of build on the win that they got against Newcastle. But yeah, deserved win for sure, and much needed, really. I think.
I was actually very impressed by Wan-Bissaka in the game. I was watching closely his efforts, and I did rate him when he was at Man United. He just never hit his full potential like he did at Crystal Palace. But in this game, he run that flank ragged, and he was giving Newcastle plenty of problems defensively, and I just think if he can keep that going, if he could have that consistency in his game, he could be a real good player for Nuno, because he will love him. He would love
Absolutely. He's always been regarded as one of the best one-on-one defenders in the league, especially when he was at United. I mean, so good, just reliable there. So, but yeah, like I said, if you can carry that forward and kind of be a bit more fruitful going forward in attack and get those crosses in as well, I think it'd be a big asset for them. Yeah.
Exactly. But moving up the table slowly, we are going to move over to a team which one of us actually do support, and the first actual point on the board for Sean Dyche's men as Nottingham Forest drew against Manchester United, bringing their 3-game winning streak to an end. Is this, David? I want to ask: is this a point gained or 2 points dropped?
I think it's a point gain. I was I was quite happy with the result. Not just by the point itself, obviously not losing is good, but the point was a good point, I think, away from home. I'll take a point away from home anytime. But what I was really impressed with and what I was kind of happy to see was that when Ahmad got the equal, I mean, that goal from Ahmad was amazing. That volley from inside the box. I mean, goodness me, what a goal. But what I was happy to see after that is that United were still pressing for the winner. They didn't kind of just sit back and win. So the goal line clearance, honestly, it was great. Nottingham Forest played really well. They did well to get back in front, and then, like I said, Ahmad's equaliser was just stunning to get that leveler. But again, I was happy to see that United were still pressing forward to go and try and get that winner. So there was a bit of heart in the performance, which was good to see. But yeah, no, I was very happy with the result. Obviously disappointed not to get the win, but I think a good point. I think away from home as well. 100%. I'm good to see. Happy to see Yaro back as well in the side too. I missed him. He's good.
Well, it's interesting. I actually do think that with Ahmad, I actually think he could be used better. He starts off in a defensive position, and I do think that provides a weak point for Man United going forward. If he's moved further up the pitch, we saw on Saturday that, well, if he's used in a more advanced position, this guy could be devastating. Yeah,
well, Amram has basically converted him into a wing back. He was a winger, now he is a wing back. So, but especially in recent games, his efforts going his efforts defensively running back have been just as good as they have been going forward. I think he's one of the few players who have really adapted well to this 3-5-2, if you like, formation. I think Ahmad's been really impressive along the way as well. And again, that goal was a nice one. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's Spurs next week, isn't it? But obviously United are on a good streak at the moment now. I've never known a manager of any team, let alone a United side, to be such on the brink of being let go, sacked, on the point of just pure devastation and everyone being against him, and just there's no way back for him to be in. High 3 wins in a row, everything's looking rosy now. I mean, what a flip in form that was. And I think it all started with that Sunderland win and then carried forward to the Liverpool one, obviously being the huge one in that run of 3 wins. A draw away at Nottingham Forest against a Sean Dyche team is a good point.
I agree with that. I think it is a definitely a valid point you do make there. I think that Dyche's men were good. I do think that Dalot should have done better on the second goal. He should have done a lot better. He was a bit ball watching there, and then the goal scorer capitalised on that.
Yeah.
The first goal, like the header, I mean, Lemons isn't going to get nowhere near it. Like it's just perfect place. It's a brilliant finish. I do think that there's a lot of this complaining and moaning about it wasn't a corner and everything, and it wasn't. Like I think everyone can sit here and say exactly the same thing. However, you are defending.
Can the ref see that? Can the ref?
For me, you've got the technology that you could have overturned it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But the referee's given it. It's now a corner.
Yeah.
And then it's the audacity that the defenders had that they didn't really defend the corner that well. And then Casemiro scores the goal, hits it into the back of the net, and then they run straight to the ref to moan. And it's like, come on, guys, you should actually be defending the corner, not moaning.
Not having a whinge about exactly. Yeah.
It was like the inches were like small margin. I mean, it's one. I get it. You got the technology, but like, I don't know. I mean,
it must be annoying though for teams against whom it actually happens. I mean, could you imagine that in like a World Cup or final or a Champions League semi-final or something where it's not corner, but they score the winner off the corner? It was like, well, we can't do anything about it. You know,
can't they use the same technology they use for like goal line sign?
Yeah,
I know. Like, you put like some sort of sensor or something, then you wouldn't have the problem.
I don't think it's necessarily having the technology. I'm not. This is what does my Sweden a bit here. We saw it on camera. They didn't go out of play. Use the same camera. You don't need technology. Use that same camera, and you would have seen that didn't go out of play. And then you'd say to the ref, "That didn't go out of play. I'm sorry. That needs to be called off."
But again, I understand that point, but then I think the reason why that may not be implemented is because what's the end point of that? Because you start doing it for throw-ins, for goal kicks. You do every single slight, the ball brushed against a dangling bit of fabric off the player's, left cuff, and technically that is a thing. You start where does it end?
It's more of a situation of basically like what was it brought in for? It was supposed to stop like stuff like
egregiously bad. It wasn't kind of like
literally the decisions that VAR was like, is that offside? Is that was it? But that like a proper nasty tackle. It wasn't really brought in to say like
exactly
and stuff.
Turn everything into a game of FIFA where just like everything is kind of. It was brought in for Lampard's goal in the 2010 World Cup. Those kinds of decisions. And like you said, offsides and stuff. But
But no, I do agree with you, David. Anyway, it's a point game for Man United.
Absolutely.
I do think it's
I'm very happy with it. Yes.
But on the point of VAR, and it does move us on to our other game quite nicely. Liverpool got back to winning ways with a 2-0 victory against Aston Villa. The reason I bring up about the thing of like talking about VAR is because Ekitike got a quite good goal in that game, and he got chalked off by VAR for offside. And it was clear he was offside in that goal. Yeah. And it's like the referee didn't see it. For me, that's clear and obvious. It's like
it was playing.
As in, he should have flagged it right away.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Yeah, like if you forget away, it's like his head was like, was it like that? Like you see it and you go, he's offside. Like you don't need a double check on that. But
everyone was like, yeah, that's gonna be called. That 100%, that's called.
Yeah, but in full pelts, maybe the lines didn't quite see it. Who knows? I'm trying to benefit the doubt, but
apparently you didn't need it because basically it seems like Aston Villa were helping us out ourselves, to be honest, because you can sit there and say both of the goals kind of came from basically them, or was it trying to play out from the back and trying to like play himself into trouble a little bit? Because
a bit of both. I actually do think because yes, Aston Villa didn't help themselves, but Liverpool played that high pressing game that is the identity of what that side played last season.
It's been so missed.
The return of Gravenberch is so key for Liverpool, and it showed in that game because it allowed Szoboszlai to run forward and dominate the game in the way he did.
And in the build up as well, you can see it obviously with obviously Robinson back in and a kind of Bradley. It seems like they've gone back to the old kind of like maybe have like was it Robinson and Bradley like play a little bit deeper on the build up. So basically that means they've got a bit more cover, so they're not exposed as much on the counter because obviously they're not playing as high. So and as I said, the way they were set up is basically like last season, as you said. It's basically and it kind of proves that we need to go back to that. Oh yes, we wanted to kind of change it, but I think we changed too much. Now we've got kind of one thing you got to point out is basically there's only one new signing in that starting 11, and that was Ekitike. Basically, all of them were players that played for us ended up starting as 11 mostly last season. So, but yeah, it was just nice to see. I think obviously this system obviously made Mo Salah look like he was at his best. I mean, Szoboszlai was basically Szoboszlai. He's been absolutely immense in this game. I mean, so good. Bradley, I think at times put some good crosses in. It just the little things like the crossing was just better. It was just like the quality was there.
Yeah.
It was just nice. It was just nice to see.
Game, wasn't it? It was. I actually was really impressed with Liverpool in that game. In terms of the opposition as well, Aston Villa. The first 10-20 minutes, that game could have gone either way. Like Aston Villa looked really good going forward. Matty Cash and Rodgers, both with cracking efforts as well. But Liverpool came out the better because at the end of the day, Villa started making the mistakes. They started making those little errors in them in the game.
And also a clean sheet as well. Like that's huge for us.
Huge.
Like, especially because obviously, because like wins are wins, great, but you want the way you obviously you said, you want the clean sheet. And obviously, I think the first half, obviously after 25 minutes, and obviously, Villa kind of didn't really. They had a good chance, a couple of like good like spells near the end of the second half, but nothing really. I think it was like that spell at the start was the best he got from, to be honest. I mean, but yeah, I mean, again, it doesn't help that the goalkeeper passes it straight to Mo Salah. I mean, he got his 250th goal. I mean,
he's now level with Ian Rush and Roger Hunt, isn't he?
Wow.
Not level, sorry.
And
he has scored.
He looked like he was back to his best. I mean, it was like, obviously, I'm not going to say all of a sudden he's back to his best, but he was actually, he was doing stuff. Yeah, maybe, I mean,
everyone start taking Haaland out your team so I can have him by myself, please.
No, that's not happening. But no, it's just obviously I'm not overreacting in a way, but like it's just he saw like he had his like spur into life again. Like he's like he was doing the runs, he was doing the passing. He's even simple things as he's the crosses that for the last couple of games just always gone over or just look like they've just not hitting the mark. It's just he looked like this like again. It's just like he's kind of back to kind of obviously it's only one game. Let's not get too carried away, but it's promising to show that maybe again it's the old form is temporary, class is permanent type thing. It's
the one thing I love though, and this is what the difference is between a world class player and a player that will score the odd goal here and there. Like Alan Shearer, when I think it was back in '96, he was going into the Euros and he was in the terrible form, but Terry Venables picked him as his starting striker because he said, "I know you'll score goals still. You're fine. You're going to be starting." And in the moment he got one goal, he was then top scorer at that Euros. Salah's one of those players that he will now score that goal. He scored that goal last week, and now he's going to go on a run and score 10, 12 games and score every game.
But it's not. But it's not uncommon. I'm sure we've had runs. I think people seem to forget that he's had runs when he's had 8 or 9 games where he just hasn't scored or done anything, and then all of a sudden he'll score, and then and then he's back in form.
Do you think that there was any chance at all that he was going to get dropped? I don't think there was that talk a couple of weeks ago when he just wasn't. Brian, he wasn't. He was playing poorly. He was disappearing in all the games. But do you think there was any chance he was going to get dropped? I don't think there was, to be honest.
No, I mean, I think at the time, I know it seems like at the moment it's a situation of like, well, he's doing well. You shouldn't have. But at the time, it was what I think was working for him. And obviously at the time, and obviously that Frankfurt game when he wasn't playing. You could sit there and say that was our best performance so far this season. But
obviously you could say this one.
And also we're talking about pressing. The pressing was working. Things were working better. But then obviously in this game it feels like it again. It's kind of. I think we've kind of gone back to the patience of like we're not going to win this by kind of like if someone plays like a low block, all of a sudden just overwhelm them because obviously that unbalances the side. So what I like is we've give Slot credit. He's gone. You know what? Let's just stick to what we're good at. Go back to what won us the league, and then like maybe gradually put in Verts, gradually put in thing until we can figure this out, and then that's probably what we should have done. But we kind of all chucked them all in one and hoped it worked, and obviously it hasn't worked because. So I like that he's kind of gone back.
Still Verts and Jan, mate, get your money back.
If only that worked, isn't it? Just like here you go, it's like shopping, like I want a refund. But I mean, great. It was nice to watch Liverpool do,
bit of freedom,
well again. It was actually because obviously I was after that Palace one. I was like, I couldn't pull myself to watch that game because it was just so bad, and it was just like how many times can you sit there and watch your team like go like oh god like so like I didn't, but then it's like okay, this Villa one, and it was like please win, please win. I need something good this weekend. And we did. We played well.
Big win. And Villa were in form. Was that 4 in the bounce for Villa? I mean,
they were.
Every chance that could have gone wrong.
They just done up City. I mean, obviously we know it's not as shocking as it used to be, but that's still a good win. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. But obviously at the moment it's kind of interesting. It's like, we've got Villa, but then we've just got, just Real Madrid and Man City next. No biggies.
Oh yeah. Oh, Real Madrid. Yeah. Trent back at Trent's back at Anfield. If he starts,
apparently he's not gonna start.
No, Carvajal again. Yeah. Trent's not been getting a start really in all the games, has he? It's not worked out, and he's been injured as well.
We did warn him, but I'm not saying anything.
He didn't listen.
But one thing I do just want to point out, and this is in regards to Villa, well done Liverpool, they got the victory. But I think as a Villa fan, you do have to be a bit disappointed in the way they played, because they weren't. I think Unai Emery was very stubborn in the way that he, with his tactics going into the Liverpool game. I think they did play well at times, but then when they started giving the ball away, it was getting a bit sloppy. But let's be honest, this Liverpool side were still there for the taking. The long ball is what has destroyed Liverpool so far in these last 4 games. And not once did I see a ball thrown over the top just to see if Watkins or Rodgers or Matty Cash could have got on the end of it. And it was like, come on.
I did find that strange, because obviously they've got as you said, they've got the on the counter, they've got those players, and it was very strange. Yeah, I was obviously for play. I'm not going to moan too much, because obviously thanks Villa for playing into our hands. But if you look at it from that sense, I was shocked. They're playing out from the back. If with our press works properly as it did in this game, that's going to play into our hands. And obviously they kept doing it. And obviously, as you said, 2 of the goals come from that pressure. So it was a very strange decision. But I have to admit, though, I've never seen. He seems like a kind of happy-go-lucky, but if you saw on the touchline, you've never seen a guy try so hard to keep his anger in check. In Miami, he's got that smile, that face. He's probably going to snap at them at half time.
Yeah.
because I could see it, because it's like nothing was working for him, and it's like, but you should have maybe. Yeah, I agree with that in a way. Go into this game, if you're a Villa fan, you'd be like, well, we can do this team, but. It didn't.
They're good enough to change tactics halfway through a game and do that. They should be. So
I was very. But we get it ends to win this one. So hopefully hopefully this stops the whole. I was dreading it's going to be a City situation. 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
But luckily
it could be. Give it time. It could be.
Yeah.
But there's breaks in it. So into next weekend. So or in this case, obviously recording tomorrow, we've got Real Madrid. Oh God, that's going to be a fun game to watch.
But we'll move on to the team that are top of the table at the minute very quickly. We've got them is Arsenal, and another impressive victory at Turf Moor as they turned over them 2-0. And one thing that I actually do have to say is that we did go over this last week, me and Stuart, about set pieces and the game's boring and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, in my eyes, if the game is boring of set pieces, then how come no one can still defend against Arsenal with them?
Yeah, I know. It's like you would think the team would just learn at this stage how to defend it again. They're just so good, and the delivery. I have no problem with the set pieces at all. I mean, I don't find it boring in the least. And I mean, look, if it wins you titles, it wins you titles. It remains to be seen with this Arsenal side. But I mean, God, the defense. Sorry, the defense of this team is unbelievable. That's 3 goals conceded in 10 league games. I mean, that's just an astonishing. Defensive record so far for this team. Incredible.
You can see why the clean sheet we had today, as you talked about, Liverpool was so important, because obviously this is what we're contending with, a team that is basically not going to concede goals.
They don't concede goals. It's ridiculous.
So we need to if anyone's going to catch them, you've got to do the same, or at least be up there when it comes defensively.
Yeah.
But the one thing I noticed, and this is why I wanted to bring up about their first goal, the one scored by Gyökeres. So when you watch the corner, obviously. I was thinking, so what is it? What's the difference between Arsenal and all these other teams when it comes to corners? Because there's obviously something they're doing that other teams aren't doing. And if you watch, the whole point of when it enters that 6-yard box, in my head, I'm thinking the goalkeepers should be defending that. They should be punching it away, coming in it, getting rid of the danger. That when the ball enters that 6-yard box, that should not be entering the back of the net at any point. That's how I do see it. But Arsenal were clever. If you watch, there was about 6 players in that box. so he can't move.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what they do in most corners, to be honest.
But it was just like, it's so clever because it's just right. Let's stop him moving,
Works.
and that gives us the advantage straight away.
Exactly.
And it was brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant to watch. But
you need a good delivery in too, so you got Rice on one side and who was it the other? So you need the good balls in. Or Odegaard, isn't it? Sometimes. Anyway, but your good deliveries in is obviously needed as well to get that kind of nice kind of in swing into the 6-yard box and someone to kind of
Exactly. Sure. I think though, Arsenal. The thing that's going to win this title this season, and I'll keep saying it every week, and so Alex Ferguson said it as well. Attackers get you points. Defenders.
Defense win your leagues. Yeah.
Very true.
Win your titles.
Very
true.
It's
so true. In this season, that is exactly what's going to happen, and I'll be proven right. Right.
I think Arsenal. I think right now surely are favourites, but I think it's by no means a walk. It's only was it 6 or 7 points?
7 points, but I think us and City have obviously City now second after their win, and obviously
second, and then Liverpool third, isn't it? So
so I think it's a situation. I mean, I don't want to go into that discussion of would they need to prove themselves? Because obviously this is the same argument we had last season when it's like, there was it November fixtures, they look tough. I'm not sure, but I think it's one of these situations. Like, as a Liverpool fan, obviously would like to be closer, obviously, but maybe this might be a thing where we said if we click, maybe might be able to. And I think I don't see where the Arsenal going to drop at the moment, but I think there's a possibility. For example, if it's the corners thing, it's working at the moment, but if someone figures that out. Maybe it might be.
I still think they can readjust, and they can. I mean, they can score goals with the weights, but I mean, obviously the set pieces are the big strength.
Exactly,
I think what could be Arsenal's downfall, and it is a maybe, but because I think they will go far in obviously the FA Cup, but I think in the Champions League, I think they will go far again this season. I think the downfall maybe just be fixture congestion. And I mean, they have such a strong squad, but I mean the amount of games that start coming, the beginning of next year into the kind of the quarterfinals, Champions League, FA Cup final, FA Cup matches, it gets ridiculous. So that could be pick up a few injuries along the way. There may come a point where Arsenal might have to even go if they get into the semi-finals of the Champions League and they're maybe only 2 points clear at the top of the Premier League, it's like, well, which one are we gonna? You know what I mean? Like, it's surely unless they can win both. I mean, that would be great for them, obviously.
I think that they've got a squad. If they're starting
capable
fit, they are more capable of potentially winning both. But I do agree with you. I think that they haven't got the experience yet to win.
I fear they might start spreading themselves too thin a little bit. And let's remember, this is the same, similar-ish Arsenal. I mean, quite a lot of the same players were in that Arsenal side. What was it, 4 years ago when they bottled it like a 12-point lead at the end, near the end of the season? And we're only nearly a quarter of the way through the season now, and they're only 6 or 7 points clear. So let's not start, giving Arsenal the title just yet, because I think a lot of people are going, "Oh, it's a done deal." Like, is it? No,
I mean, they were making. I think they were making a big breaker. I think it was against Villa. It was like it's a make or break for our title defense. That was like it's a bit over the top, but I mean,
it is.
But like you know how football is, and it's like basically it's like all situations. Like I mean, everyone was saying what last season when we were like topping the table, they were like, "Oh, they've walked it." And it's like there's still a long way to go. Like
exactly, yeah.
It's like I mean, obviously
Liverpool get everything firing on all cylinders, but how everyone expects it to be, you never know. Then all of a sudden,
and
And obviously, with Haaland, I think off the camera, I said it with you, like, but some just said he's one head of a player, and that's it. Let's be honest with you. Don't need anything else about the team. It's just Haaland's a machine. Like, if they're going to have any chance, it's going to come from him.
Do you reckon? I know we're going off to a point. Do you reckon Haaland's looking at his teammates, going like, "Any danger, lads? Any chance you can help me out? Not get a couple more goals?" Like. Honestly,
I think when I saw the scoring chart of players for Man City, you got Haaland with 13.
Nuts. Yeah.
Own goals
2.
And then
1.
So basically, it's an old school feeling with just like I'm not saying they're a one man team, but they're a one man team. So if you go,
they are a one man team.
They're buggered.
The player I would actually compare him to in terms of importance. So like in terms of how important he is to where City finish and how well he needs to perform throughout the rest of the season. If they keep playing the way they do, Luis Suarez when Liverpool 2030.
So disagree with that, to be honest.
So important, because he was. If without him, Liverpool would have been nowhere near that title.
I do agree, but I think because he was part of that SAA, wasn't it? Sterling and Sturridge. I think Sturridge got 20 goals that season. Yeah, they're there, and Sterling had. But I do because Suarez is by far and away. But I would say even like Messi at the World Cup or something like that. Maybe the 2014 World Cup when they didn't win it, but they got into the final. He was basically the only player who scored like all their goals, kind of thing.
Certainly, I think that Haaland is by far, once you get inside that 18-yard box, Haaland is just devastating. But his movement is just getting better and better and better.
Both of those goals, mate, amazing. Because I just love the way it's just like City, this team that used to be like, possession based, or kind of like, and all of a sudden it's just like one ball, dink, he's in, or like one ball, he's in.
But
it doesn't matter the size of the defenders. Those Bournemouth defenders are big lads. I mean, he just kind of brushes them off.
If he's 1-on-1, there's like, if you're a better man, it's just like if there's a chances of you're not winning any money because basically he's going to score because basically it's Haaland, isn't it? It's so good.
But I think Cherky, the man midfielder, he's come back after injury and he got 2 assists in that game. And
that's right.
I actually think that he could be the player I thought Vinder would be for Man City. Like that player that seems to play on the fringe and just release that ball that gets Haaland going. Like
he was my young player of the year pick at the beginning of the season. Cherky was. So
would he be qualified for that? Then how old is he? He looks like
he wasn't a young player. He was my player to watch. That was my.
Two not bad. I mean, obviously you've got 2 kind of right in a way. So maybe it's like we should look at your predictions more than anybody else's. Because this seems to be working a bit.
Yeah, you know it. Yeah. Don't give him too big of a head, Stu. Good lord.
I've only just come back. You don't need to build my ego up again this early.
But one player I do want to speak about is Phil Foden. He has become the youngest player in Manchester City's history to hit 200 Premier League appearances for the club.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Do we think that Foden should be doing more?
He's capable of more. He's certainly capable of more. Whether or not he should be doing more, well. Again, if you're, you should be giving it your all, isn't it? If you're a Premier League footballer, especially for a big team, you should be giving it your all. But he's. Go on, Stu. Sorry.
I mean, it's a weird one because obviously, again, it's the argument you always play when he plays for England. When asking, can he do more? Again, it really is. I know I don't like using the word system because obviously a lot of people will go, "Well, I need to do more." But like maybe for the system, he does enough. He's never going to be the guy that's gonna. He doesn't come across as a guy like he does. He's in the right positions at times, but he never comes across as a player that's gonna. Like that bit of quality and stuff. Like he has moments of it sometimes, but like
just doesn't show it enough to he has got bags of quality. I mean, he's so talented.
Well, Pep Guardiola's system doesn't really relate to kind of take the scruff by the neck type of players. No. It's like it's more of it's a unity, it's a system type thing. And I think
now they're a lump it long team, just lump it along to Haaland.
Yeah,
we'll go for it, so it doesn't matter.
But they're basically like a Sam. I don't want to say Sam Allardyce team, like hoofing up the pitch and just like
no Sam Elidishi.
Yeah. But Pep never thought he'd be compared to Sam Allardyce in his career, but there you go.
I mean, what was it? That rant? I think it was. What was it? Sam Allardyce had a rant saying if he was another nationality, he'd be up there with Pep Guardiola and Klopp. Remember that one? It was just complete. It was Everton or someone. It was just like
I can't remember.
It's just like you're like any argument you had about that is like completely gone down the drain. It's like you'd be like, nah, mate. You're good at what you do, but come on, man.
Pack it in.
I think that with Phil Foden, he should ask more of himself. He was Player of the Year 2 seasons ago. He completely dropped off last season, and let's be honest, if he doesn't pick it up ASAP, Tuchel take him. Like.
I think have we had this kind of debate before? Because I think Foden would have to have a seriously stinky season for him not to be picked by by
I
Tuchel.
agree. I think with the midfield talent we've got, so you've got Bellingham, Rice, Cole Palmer, Morgan Rogers as well, who's been playing well.
I mean, you got that
Anderson is quite good.
Yeah, he's really. I think he's solidified his place in that middle.
He's shown that he can. Yeah.
Eze.
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah. Eze as well. Yeah.
There is quite a few players there that for me.
No, that's true.
Foden doesn't do well enough for City. I personally wouldn't take him.
Well, perfect example of that is obviously not the same form in against sense. Obviously, was it Jack Grealish when we everyone was up in arms when we didn't pick him? Or was it last tournament? But that kind of was proved to be a kind of not a bad decision in a way because obviously we got the final. So I think I think you're right. We do have the talent. I don't think it's a situation if you don't take him, it's going to be upward. There are a lot of, and also if he's only got 18, I think as Thomas Tuchel said, he's only got 18 months in charge. He's gonna try and pick the best.
He's there to win. Yeah, he's not there to build a dynasty. He's there literally to win this particular tournament, isn't he? So yeah.
And then he'd be was it win it in one off basically that's how it sounds like. He win the World Cup and then he's like, okay, I've done, and then
see you later. Yeah
you
needed the German to come in to win the World Cup, lads.
That's gonna hurt a lot of people, isn't it?
That's how the Germans are going to banter you,
It took a German to win it, but to be fair, none of it. Any proper England fan would be like, who cares? We just want to win it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But finishing off with the Premier League for a moment, we are going to do our Super Six in a moment as well. But before we do that, we did want to actually discuss a post that we did see, and it was by Soccer 90.
Oh yeah.
And basically, it is an all-star 11, and what they think is the best 11 so far this season. Personally, I think they're some of it is their high as a kite, but I will read it out first. I am allowed to be wrong. I am not wrong, but I'm allowed to be. No, so you got Donnarumma in goal, Reece James, Saliba, Gabriel, Guardiola in defence. And then it goes into a 4-3-3. So it is then Cole Palmer, Caicedo, Rice with was it Kune, Haaland and Saka up front.
Cole Palmer?
Why is Cole Palmer in?
He's actually played this season.
Is this site statistically? Because obviously it's one of those statistics that maybe. Because I've got a feeling. I follow
them for a lot of news, and it is normally 9 times out of 10 accurate. I say 9 times out of 10 because football is unpredictable. But I honestly don't understand how Saka gets in there as well.
I think Mbembo gets in ahead of Saka, surely. And I still Palmer. I'm sorry, I don't get Palmer at all. He's barely played.
I'm trying to think of a player though.
That's what I mean. It's would you say you just kind of dropped on us 10 minutes before we recorded? So okay, we have to think on our feet, and we all know that never ends well for anyone.
But Eze doesn't play that sort of role, does he? He plays more out on the flank.
So just to point out with this one, is it based on the idea of the best team this season, or just all time best 11?
So far this season, right? Okay. I don't get that.
Donnarumma, I think he's a very questionable pick. I think
I would put Raya in. I think that any one of the Arsenal backline, I think I'd put Raya in.
The guy's only conceded 3 goals from the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Entire Arsenal backline I'd put in. I put Calafiori in over Reece James, and I'd put Timber in over Guardiola.
Yeah,
I would
certainly Guardiola. Yeah.
Reece
James, I think, has been played well. Yeah. Cunha, get Cunha out. I know he's played really well, but he hasn't scored yet, so he doesn't deserve.
Yeah,
maybe not even Doku. Put Doku in over Cunha, maybe the left wing. He scored a goal at least.
There's only.
Do you not think?
I think there's 5 players in that team that I go, there's no way you're taking them out. Haaland.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Caicedo.
Gabriel, Saliba.
Gabriel Saliba stay in the team 100%. Rice, Caicedo,
Haaland.
The
idea if you had that too and with defensive, but them kind of defensive kind of midfield, if you had them in that midfield, you're not getting past that. Because obviously we've said previously on a previous podcast about who's the best midfield or kind of in their position. And obviously it's between those two. Ironically, I did see an article where someone pointed that out. So maybe I'm just saying, maybe people are watching our podcast because it's been talked about. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I think the Cunha one's baffles me.
That is a weird one.
Because obviously, yes, he's been
Cole
good
Palmer's
at times.
The weirdest. That is the
Cole Palmer is the weirdest. Yeah. Cole Palmer is
Yeah, but that's definitely not off this season. That's blatantly off last season. If it was season, he
exactly, isn't it? Yeah, they've definitely just they've just merged the two seasons. Like,
I don't know.
Like, if it's 2025, maybe you can have an argument if that's what they're going for. But it's very vague that we don't know. But if it's like this season,
even 2025, Cunha. I don't know.
I think that the hype going around with Cole Palmer at the minute. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a phenomenal player, and when he gets back on form, he will be one of the best players in the Premier League, if not the best he can be. That is capability he has, but that's not what we have seen over the last 18 months. Over the last 18 months, we have had in the Club World Cup, he was phenomenal, and then in the first half of last season, he was very good.
Really good, yeah.
After that, he's not really done too much, and I don't sit there and think to myself, is this guy this guy up there with the best when everyone's fully fit? Like, let's see if he can get it back. Let's see if he can get it back.
I hope he does. I actually really like Cole Palmer as a player. I think if you were doing a team, a best 11 of players at their best, I think he would have a shout at getting in there for sure.
Yeah. But I think that the thing I'm hoping for, I really am hoping for, and it didn't happen this weekend, and I was really hoping it would. And I just realised there's a game we didn't speak about. Oh my God, how did we not speak about Spurs and Chelsea?
Go on. What did you think of that, Dan? Right? Give us a bit of a Chelsea analysis there, mate.
Oh, mate,
what did you think of that?
Best team in the world. We have the best goalkeeper in the
Club
world.
World Cup champions, man.
Robert Sanchez. We also have the best midfielders in the world in Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. No one can prove me wrong. Fofana is better than Van Dijk.
Enzo Fernandez, we're getting that team ahead of Cole Palmer, by the way.
I love the way it's just like it's always someone versus Van Dijk every time. It's like
first it's Gary Cahill.
I know it's like at least he's going current because at least he's not going from the past now. Like, at least going this season, so you know.
But in seriousness, I thought Chelsea were very good. I think actually I'd go as far as to say I think it's our best performance of the season. We brilliant defensively. I think that Enzo Fernandez was our best player on that day as well. He's really clinical passing, position, brilliant. Everything was fantastic off the ball as well. João Pedro had a really good game as well. I thought he was quite good too. He got in the game a bit more. I am fed up though of Garnacho. I am fed up with him. Like I don't understand what is seen in him. I really don't get it.
I don't get that transfer at all. I have no idea why he's
like strange, wasn't it? Like to see him back. Out of all the clubs he could have went to, he could have went. The talks about like Italy. It's like Gittins. Chelsea.
It's like Gittins. We bought him from Dortmund, and he didn't have the greatest of starts, but he got a man of the match performance against Wolves in the League Cup. And you think, if in my head I'm thinking to myself, oh well, that spot in our team isn't actually a full-on conclusion that player has to start the game, so he could start the next game, and he could have had a really good game again and taken that spot off Nacho, and he started the game, Nacho, and I sat there and thought, there's nothing you're doing in this game that for me I sit there and go, you are clinical to the way Chelsea play. I think you could easily take him out and put another player in, and Chelsea do get better. I really do.
Yeah. I don't understand that at all.
No. But Spurs were toothless. I think Spurs were useless in that game.
Did you see that video?
I was just going to say the players walking off and the blanking Van de Ven blanking Thomas Frank.
Yeah, like giving him like you're not even giving him like a high five. Like say it's like
which is always doesn't look great, does it? Yeah.
No, I mean obviously they've been weird with Tottenham because obviously it's like obviously they started off really well, obviously, but like what's weird about Tottenham is like defense, like he's mildly sorted out the defensive sort of. Obviously in this game may not be the best example, but like mostly sorted out. But like again, Tottenham's. He hasn't really sorted out the problem. It was a lot that their attacking output was for the players they've got. I mean, they should be producing way more than, because obviously I didn't watch the game in full, I saw highlights, but it didn't look like they produced a lot. And obviously,
No.
and also with Chelsea, I think it was just that should have been a 3-0 win at least, but obviously still won, so it's good. But like, you've so many chances.
Vicario was their best player. Vicario was brilliant in that game, and he is a very good keeper.
I like Vicario. Do you know, I'm a fan of Vicario. I think he made 8 saves in that game. Like, I think he's really good.
And that's the thing, he won't get the credit he deserves in that game because he was fantastic. But I think that going forward, I would. I think that Estival should be a player that does start more often for Chelsea. And when Cole Palmer does come back in, I don't know how he's going to do it, but Maresca's somehow got to put Palmer and this guy in. He's got to, because he's too clever on the ball. And I know this. I know that Chelsea fans will sit there and go, "Oh, but we need to be careful with Estival because he's young and all this stuff."
Yeah.
It was Cole Palmer. Just saying, so was Cole Palmer, and look what he did in his first season.
If you're good, you're good. You know, sometimes if you sometimes age isn't a thing. Like, you know, I know people say, well, you know, but like if you, I mean, obviously I hated it where he's got that one against Chelsea against us, Liverpool, but like he's so good. Like, just put him in there. Why not? Well, like literally at the moment, it's like. Because it's like a win-win for him. Because basically, if he works out, you've got one hell of a talent. But if it doesn't work out, you can just say, "Well, he's not. You know, he hasn't got the experience." Then try him. So either way, it's a win-win. Either way for him.
I don't.
So I would.
It's just how do you play him? That for me is the headache. It's a bit like Liverpool with some of all those attacking players. It's like how do you fit them all in? We'll find a way. But one thing I would say for absolute certainty is that after this game, I'm hoping Maresca now sees the light and plays João Pedro as our main striker going forward, not the person behind the striker, because you lose a very good player once you put him behind someone. So but we'll leave it there for today. All right, and obviously we'll see you all next week, of course. Like, thank you for listening again. But we will be back with some more. Let's be honest, some very surprising results possibly, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right. Thank you for listening, everyone. Take care.
Absolutely.
Right.
See you guys. All the best.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.